Najprej dokumentarni film o sečnji v Papui Novi Gvineji z naslovom Big Damage. Nato delo o odlagališču elektronskih odpadkov v Gani z naslovom E-Wasteland. Trilogijo filmov, ki raziskujejo vprašanja povezana z begunci, prosilci za azil in migracijami med evropsko in afriško celino, pa zaokrožuje film THIS JUNGO življenje. Gre za dokumentarce avstralskega režiserja in popotnika Davida Fedela, ki je prejšnji teden obiskal festival migrantskega filma.
Pozabljeni in nezaželeni, takšno je življenje prosilcev za azil, ki so ujeti v žepu med Severno Afriko in Evropo. Novi dokumentarni film Davida Fedela se ne ukvarja s statističnimi podatki o številu beguncev, ki trkajo na evropska vrata, temveč kaže obraze, nefiltrirano resnico.
Last year I was back in Morocco. It's a country that I love to spend time in, and I was walking literally down the street and I saw this piece of land and I saw a group of African people around a fire, and for me that's an invitation to be curious and to find out who they are and their story and their situation.
صباح الليل اليوم أصبحنا طبعا ده اليوم الوحيد بالنسبة لنا هي زي ما بقول ويوم مميز بالنسبة للمسلمين عموما أو لعدة دول في العالم. فعشان نحن هنا في الغربة وما عندنا زي ما بقول حتى بيت نقدر نجتمع فوقه.
Jongo is a term that I did not know 1 year ago, and now I am also in some ways Jongo. So it's a term that traditionally is used in Sudan, and it refers to agricultural seasonal workers that would leave their home and go to work. Also now it's been adopted by these migrants, refugees, asylum seekers on the road to consider themselves part of this group, of this family.
Dokumentarni film THIS JUNGO življenje je iskrena izpoved skupine mladeničev iz glavnega mesta Maroka, Rabata, ki životarijo le 100 metrov stran od policijske postaje in urada Visokega komisarjata Združenih narodov za begunce.
You require authorization to make these sorts of films in Morocco, and you can't get authorization to make these sorts of films. So the only way that we understood that we could do it to minimize the risks for both me and the people I was filming was with a mobile phone. So literally an old iPhone 10 that I had in my pocket was my filmmaking camera. In fact, all of the images in the film are from either my phone or from the phones of the refugees themselves.
You get to know these people. What do these refugees actually want?
I mean, safety, security, shelter, food, financial assistance.
You are talking about basic.
The most basic of human rights.
Dokumentarni film pa nas preseneti predvsem z neverjetnim optimizmom, povezanostjo in človeškostjo, ki vlada v skupnosti na robu obstoja.
So it was only around 2020 refugees from Sudan and South Sudan started to arrive in Morocco for various reasons, violence, mistreatment, or perceived lack of opportunities, and unfortunately the Moroccan authorities in many instances don't recognise the documents of asylum seekers or refugees, and they will illegally deport people, even with the papers, to the border areas, the desert areas.
كأنه زي فيلم أنا قريت بيجي يتفرج هنا هديل طبعا أديت وهديل الديت وهديل الديت من هنا وهدي هنا كلها وهدول كلها هدول كلها هدي كلها حتى في الأورجوليوم بعد ما فكوا الكلاب عدتني كلها أشياء وضربوني في فمي هنا السن ده برضه مكسورة قال لي مش أدخل إلا أوروبا.
I mean, Europe plays a huge role, even if it's not visible, and has done for a long time, primarily through financial ways as well, like paying North African countries to control and stop flows of migration before people arrive in Europe.
Medtem pa število beguncev v Severni Afriki ponovno narašča, poudarja režiser, ki se je slovenski javnosti že predstavil s filmoma Dežela vmes in Vrnitev.
Because now we're seeing the introduction of new arrivals who have recently left Sudan in the past months, fleeing from the current war. There are going to be a lot more people arriving, which is also going to include a lot more families and women and children.
Solidarnost, družbena pravičnost in iskanje pripadnosti so teme, ki so mu blizu tudi osebno, pravi živahni Avstralec iz Melbourna. Je namreč potomec italijanskih migrantov, hkrati pa sam že leta nima fizičnega doma na enem mestu. Doma je povsod in kjerkoli.
There is sometimes a challenge between a documentary filmmaker and an activist as well, where an activist already has a predetermined vision and idea of what they want to get across, where I find it's more interesting as a documentary filmmaker to try to show the reality and explore the intricacies and the grey areas and open things up for discussion. So I guess that's my form of activism.
Vsi njegovi filmi so posneti v neodvisni produkciji in zgolj z lastnimi sredstvi.
I've now been making these sorts of films for just under 15 years, and of course nothing that I've made has made any sort of long-term concrete change that you can see with your eyes, but I do believe that, you know, we live in a world where we sort of need to plant seeds, so if people weren't making many projects then nothing would change.